Good afternoon. I'm going to call to order the Knox County Commission for Monday, February 24th at 5 p.m. Seated to my right is Vice Chairwoman Kim Frazier, Law Director Mike Moyer. Seated to my left is Ms. Kim Ellis and Ms. Haley Evans with the Knox County Clerk's Office. I see a few people in here. I see Sheriff Spangler. I think he's still in here. Ed Schaus, we always like to acknowledge Mr. Schaus, and former Commissioner Randy Smith. Is there any elected officials that I didn't see? Oh, the mayor's, how did I miss you? Yeah, wow. So the mayor's here. Thank you, Mayor Jacobs. Madam Clerk, if you'll, I'm sorry. Oh, and Phil Ballard, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't see anybody in this room, so, okay. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Commissioner Rawls.
Present.
Commissioner Darrett.
Present.
Commissioner Oster.
Here.
Commissioner Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Russell.
Present.
Commissioner Hill. Here. Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Fox. Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Powell.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Zanders.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Tarbox.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Patel.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Whitcomb.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Brazard.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Price.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Kingsford.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Graves.
Present.
Junior Commissioner Greenwood.
Present.
Members are present.
Thank you. And I will now turn it over to Commissioner Lee for tonight's devotion.
Commissioners and all of our distinguished guests, I would like to introduce Reverend Mark McCool from First Apostolic Church, who's going to lead our devotion. I also call him my pastor.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of Knox County Commission and junior commissioners. Greetings. Thank you for this opportunity to have this time of devotion with you. Special honor does go to 7th District Commissioner Rhonda Lee for this invitation. She is a member in good standing of First Apostolic Church of Knoxville, where I do serve as lead pastor. And I give honor to our Knox County Mayor, the Honorable Glenn Jacobs. And I did hear one minister say one time, he said, I give protocol to those that I don't know to call. So if there's anybody else that deserves honor that I didn't honor you, I give you that honor now. I once read that a devotional can be a selection of biblical verses accompanied by a thoughtful essay. So being mindful of my limited and allotted time, allow me to give you a Bible verse for this devotional time. In part, Ecclesiastes 9:10 says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Suffice to say, this is encouragement to give maximum effort in all endeavors which we undertake, which you are doing. I would give you a moment of history to qualify me to do what we're doing now. I was born in 1958 at Baptist Hospital just across the river that's no longer there. It's been that long. I see on my birth certificate that I was born in the county of Knox. This is the only county that I've ever resided in. I attended Powell Elementary School, Pleasant Ridge Elementary, Northwest Middle, graduated from West High School. I'm a product of the Knox County school system. And by the way, I was blessed to have graduated from the University of Tennessee. That's right here in Knox County as well, as did my wife of 43 years. Both of my children, Ashley and Anthony, graduated from the University of Tennessee. They are both married, and yes, they reside in Knox County. And I was married here in Knox County. I am privileged to pastor First Apostolic Church of Knoxville that was founded by my father, Bishop Billy McCool, in 1957, right here in the county of Knox. In fact, both my father and my son have previously given devotions to you the Father and the Son, but I promise you I am not the Holy Spirit, so don't worry about that. But all of us are residents of Knox County. And I give you this brief history of myself to let you know my qualifications for this devotional time to speak to Knox County Commission. I might use a well-worn adage and make it work for me. I am Knox County born, Knox County bred, and when I die, I'll be Knox County dead. So I want you to either love me, like me, or loathe me. I am a product of Knox County. And I thank you for so freely giving of your time and of your expertise to govern our community. I personally feel I live in the best county, in the best state, in the best country, and am governed by the greatest form of government that has ever been created, our constitutional system. That's not a brag, that's just fact. And I add to this list, I feel like we have the best county commissioners and the best county mayor that anybody could have. So I just think we have the best. So please accept the gratitude of this 66-year-old resident of Knox County for the sacrifices of all of your time, your personal resources, and as the scripture told us to do, for giving your maximum effort in all that we do. Timothy exhorted us. He said, first of all, supplications, prayer, intercession, and giving thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior. I'm confident that I speak for a large contingency of Knox Countyans who pray for you for your wisdom as you make decisions to keep our community quiet and peaceable. I encourage every one of you to continually, prayerfully give your wisdom, your knowledge, and your resources as you serve our county. As Ecclesiastes said, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Let's pray. Mighty God, our Father, we come before you humbly asking for a fresh measure of your grace and your favor. Lord Jesus, I pray that your omnipotent hand would give clarity of thought and mind to these, our governmental leaders, as they conduct the governance of our community. In Corinthians, your word mentioned the gift of government as a particular member of the body of Christ. Give these your servants the gift of government as well as strength, wisdom, and knowledge to indeed do with all their might whatever their hands find to do. Please, Lord, prosper their personal health, their resources, and give bountiful blessings as they voluntarily give their times as public servants to our community. Finally, your word tells us that righteousness exalteth the nation. Let all Knox Countyans strive for righteousness as we might be exalted in your sight. For all these things we ask in the precious name of Jesus. Let all who agree say amen. Amen. Thank you. Lord bless you.
Thank you so much. I'll now turn it over to Commissioner Hill to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. If you would stand, please, salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. The amendments to the agenda are as follows. Addition number 19, 28, and 30. Defer to March 34, 37, 38, 41, and 47. Withdraw is number 33. Non-consent 29, 31, 32, 35, 36, 39, 40, and 42 through 46. I'm going to do the non-consents one more time. 29, 31, 32, 35, 36, 39, 40, and 42 through 46. It's at the pleasure of the body. After we set the agenda, we'll entertain a motion on the education and general consent calendars, honorary resolutions, and presentation, and then the rest of the agenda. I'd also like to move up number 40, which is a presentation by our comptroller, Mr. Mumpower. Commissioner Durrett?
That's what I was gonna
I was
ask you
getting
to
there.
do.
Okay. So we need to set the agenda, so I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to set the agenda as outlined.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion to set the, to approve the education consent and government consent calendar.
Madam Chair, I object pursuant to Section P consent calendar to one of the items on the government consent calendar. Item 19, I'd like to have that heard individually. Thank you.
That was an addition, Commissioner Fox.
Yes, but it's in addition to the consent calendar. And so pursuant to the rules, Commission Rules, Section P, it says, any member of the commission may require any matter be considered individually by making objection to the motion to collectively consider all consent items. So that's my objection, and I'd like that particular item to be removed from the consent calendar.
Okay, so you're wanting it put on non-consent?
Yes.
Okay. So let's add number 19 to your non-consent. Do we
So
have a-
I'll amend my motion to approve the agenda, which we already voted on, but we'll vote on it again with the addition of number 19.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Durrett. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it.
So
Next
does the
item,
item, so did we have to vote on the agenda, the consent calendars? Because that was never acted upon. So I'll restate my
right.
motion to approve the education and general government consent calendars.
Second.
we've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, a second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, Madam Chair, or Madam Clerk? Be number 40.
We're on item number 40, which is Resolution 902. It's approving the recommendation of the Knox County Property Assessor to transition from a 4-year reappraisal cycle of all property in Knox County, Tennessee, to a 2-year reappraisal cycle of all property in Knox County, Tennessee, for the purpose of updating and equalizing the value of property for the assessment of property taxes on that property.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Mumpower, if you will come and address commission. If you don't mind to state your name and county of residence.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Jason Mumpower, resident of Sullivan County, Comptroller of the Treasury for the state of Tennessee. It is a great pleasure to be with you tonight in this forum in Knox County. I'm in Knox County at least twice a week because, as you heard, I live in Bristol in Sullivan County. And so I pass through Knox County driving to Nashville, and I pass back through Knox County as I'm driving back to Bristol as I serve in the state capitol in Nashville as comptroller. I typically stop here and spend a little money at least once at Chick-fil-A usually. I come down to Nashville on Sunday night, so Chick-fil-A is not open then, so it's usually on Thursday that I stop. It is good to be here with you tonight again at your commission meeting, though, to commend you on the idea of moving to a shorter reappraisal cycle. You're actually the third county I have spoken to in the last 7 days, which has chosen to move in this direction. Interestingly, the most recent county I spoke to that did move to a 2-year cycle was my home county of Sullivan last Thursday. And again, I commend you. I think it's an excellent idea. First, for the benefit of your taxpayers, your homeowners, your agricultural landowners, which are currently, because of the imposition of the sales ratio on the county, they're having to shoulder more than their fair share of the tax burden. So I think first, for the benefit of your taxpayers, it's an excellent idea to move to a more frequent reappraisal cycle. Next, obviously, for your county and the cities within your county, it's an excellent idea for your budget purposes. And it really, Tennessee is a great place to be. In 2022, we were the 6th fastest growing state in the nation. In 2023, we were in 2022, we were the 7th fastest growing. In 2023, we were the 6th fastest growing state in the nation. In 2024, I'm still waiting on a final number, but I can tell you U-Haul rated us as the 5th most moved to state in the nation for in-migration. Tennessee is a place people want to be. Putting a finer point on it, I know that Knox County is a place people want to be for people coming to Tennessee. You have one of the most dynamic property markets in the state of Tennessee, and that dynamic, quick-moving property market is another reason for you to move to a more frequent reappraisal cycle. In the Comptroller's office, we have the Division of Property Assessments. And in fact, we have an office here in Knoxville, just off Kingston Pike, where we have property professionals. And I can tell you, you're fortunate, and obviously you all are part of the reason. Knox County is a very well-run county. You have a very well-run assessor's office. And it's just a hallmark of good government to keep up with the times, and moving to a more frequent reappraisal cycle is part of that. I could get into a lot more minutia. We could talk about the technical specifics of assessments and sales ratios and things like that, or your assessor could, I'm sure. But I noted as I come in that it looks like really perhaps the full commission is already a co-sponsor of this measure. So I know how to take yes for an answer. And unless you have any more questions, I'll be glad to get out of the way. Madam Chair, I'll say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming here. Commissioner Durrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Comptroller, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come here and to be willing to answer any questions that we had, if there were some. But as you stated, we do have a full commission, I believe, as a sponsor. So we appreciate this. We appreciate your support behind it and everything your office has done for Knox County and will do in the future. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. And again, let me say, this is happening across the state. I in addition to speaking to Sullivan and Knox, I spoke to the Hardeman County Commission, which is a very small rural county in West Tennessee. So this move is happening all over the state, as it's recognized as a good policy decision.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments? Seeing none?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Have safe travels back.
Thank you. I am having dinner in Nashville, so it won't be long. That's the advantage of moving back to Central Time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're back on schedule. Madam Clerk?
The honorary resolution is R-25-2-101. It's honoring rural Metro firefighters Lieutenant Cameron Rood, Misty Weimer, and Nicholas Johnson of Engine 230 for their heroic bravery and commendable service to Knox County.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The floor is yours, Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Got everybody up here? Awesome. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank the full commission for signing on to this honorary resolution. There's no one on this commission that doesn't fully believe in, support, back, and applaud our first responders across the board. In good times and in bad, we rely on these professionals to not only keep us safe, but proactively determine how are ways that we can continue to provide for safety and security within the county citizenry and to train every day for the thing that we hope never happens. We put a lot of trust in our first responders across the board. We look to them at difficult times, and at times they go above and beyond the duty, and that's what this honorary resolution is about. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different tonight in that I'm going to ask Mr. Jeffrey Bagwell to read this honorary resolution on behalf of commission. We've all voted on it, and we all support it, and we've all, made it possible tonight. But when Mr. Bagwell contacted me about this, the situation that led to this honorary resolution, I couldn't imagine somebody who is more proud of the people that he works with every single day. And as the public information officer, he sees the literally the best and the worst in all of situations. And I would like for him to read that resolution and recognize his team. And then when we're done, perhaps we can all get up and have a picture together and celebrate their bravery. So, Mr. Bagwell, I'm going to turn the podium over to you.
Thank you very much. So the resolution reads as follows. Whereas on December 6th, 2024 at 2:50 a.m., North End units responded to a report of a structure fire on Keithway Lane in the Halls community. Whereas Engine 230 responded with a crew of 3, including Lieutenant Cameron Rood, firefighter Misty Weimer, and firefighter Nicholas Johnson. And whereas Engine 230 arrived on the scene and found moderate smoke showing from a single wide mobile home. Upon arrival, the crew was met by a family member who advised them that her mother was still inside the home. And whereas Engine 230 crew quickly deployed a pre-connect hose line and full personal protective equipment, entered the structure, performing a detailed search while also being supported from the exterior. And whereas after locating the female in the long hallway toward the middle of the structure, it was assessed that her condition would not allow her to self-rescue. And whereas Lieutenant Rood and firefighter Johnson rescued the female from removing her from the structure, as firefighter Misty Weimer assisted the extrication. And whereas the woman was transferred to the waiting AMR EMS unit before the Rural Metro crew returned to work on the structure fire. And whereas approximately 2 minutes after removing the female from the structure, the room in the hallway flashed and erupted with fire, engulfing the home. And whereas without the quick actions of Lieutenant Rood and firefighter Johnson and the assistance of firefighter Misty Weimer, the incident would have most likely resulted in severe injuries or a fatality. And whereas the members of Engine 230 crew were recognized by Rural Metro Fire with the Corona Civico Award, which is the highest award given in the fire service for their bravery and commitment to life safety efforts. And whereas Knox County citizens value and respect all first responders and emergency service personnel and wish to take every opportunity to recognize their valuable and extraordinary service to the community. Now therefore be it resolved by the Commission of Knox County as follows. The Commission of Knox County hereby honors Lieutenant Cameron Rood, firefighter Misty Weimer, and firefighter Nicholas Johnson with appreciation and celebrates their continued service to Knox County. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to the members of Rural Metro Fire Department as an example of continued excellence in service to Knox County. Be it further resolved that this resolution is to take effect from and after its passage as provided by the Charter of Knox County, Tennessee, the public welfare requiring it.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
It's presentation, AMR, to discuss the first year of the EMS ambulance services contract.
Thank you. Hello. If you will state your name and county of residence, please.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm Jerry Harnish. I'm a resident of Knoxville, and my work address is 10140 Gallows Point Drive.
Thank you.
I'm the Director of Operations for AMR. Very happy to address the commission tonight because we've got very good news. We have completed the first year of the contract. From the handout, you can see performance over the last 12 months, and there has been increasing success with meeting the response time requirements of the contract. Of course, we're always trying to find ways to do better. We're particularly proud that within the last 7 months, we've met or exceeded the 90% requirement, 26 out of the 28 categories. Now, if we can see the next slide, that's been achieved largely by increases in staffing. So the staffing increase has been 49% with EMTs and paramedics since January, and another 30% since February. Currently, that's allowed us to add about 100 unit hours per day. And so a unit hour obviously is an hour of an ambulance unit's time. So by 100 hours, that means on the average, 4 more units per day are serving the community than previously. We've also been able to make better use of our resources. The nurse navigation system has moved almost 4,000 people out of the 911 system. Now, only about a third of those end up being treated by some way other than an ambulance ride in the emergency department, but that's still roughly 1,500 people that would have required ambulance time and emergency department time had the system not been in place. We've also been able to take advantage of our allied agencies. We've established a memorandum of understanding with Knox County Rescue last month that allows that agency to do quick responses to the priority 2 calls. Those are medical emergencies that fall beneath the highest case where the fire department responds with us also. And it has been a significant resource for care of those patients. We still do have some challenges, particularly with hospital wait times. Generally, those have been declining. We have had a slight uptick in the winter with the bad flu season, but we do meet with hospital systems monthly. They've been very cooperative, and generally their improvements have tracked around. Not a lot they can do about the flu season. I think that's about the end of the prepared remarks. Looking forward, we have a number of things that we're trying to put some effort in. We've had 2 meetings with the 911 director and staff. They will be taking over dispatching of the emergency ambulances. We think by no later than midsummer. They are in the process of doing the hiring and training now, so we have expectations that should wrap up within a reasonable period of time. Do you have any questions?
Great. Do the commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, and this is a wonderful report to receive. We, as you know, when this contract was renewed, there were quite a few issues. One of them I remember being the lack of qualified personnel. I didn't even hear you mention that this time. Could you tell us what has turned that around?
Team building. Certain things have helped build the team. We did a very significant wage adjustment as the contract was taking effect. That certainly induces people to join, but it doesn't induce them to stay. So we found that we have some very good low-level leadership in the organization. We've essentially turned those men and women loose, and they've done good things. But there's no substitute for it.
Thank you, that's good to hear. And also kudos on the consolidation of dispatch. I think that's a huge step forward for Knox County.
I agree, Commissioner.
Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to quickly say thank you. I still maintain communication with this group, and there has been a lot of restructuring with leadership, and it shows in the numbers, in the response, in the, just the overall feeling of the team. And I just encourage you to keep going. Sometimes when we progress, I see a lot of positive momentum forward. I just urge you, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Keep pressing in. Better, stronger, more. Just keep this attitude and this energy that you have going because it's working. So thank you.
It's great advice.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Chief Harnish, we've seen lots of great things. I'm very happy because I had the opportunity to ride with AMR last year when I was campaigning, and I really saw boots on the ground how your supervisors and your EMTs and paramedics just really believe that, this is their passion, this is what they were called for. But we've come a long way. What would you say are the top one or two issues that you need to improve over the next 12 months in AMR?
Well, within AMR, certainly one thing is to continue to do this long-term trend of analyzing data. So the increase in unit hours has certainly been helpful, but we've gotten more benefit because those hours are on during the times that are busiest. So simply adding them would have had some effect, but the better effect is understanding when and where we need them. Clearly, there will be a huge advantage once 911 is doing the dispatching. They simply have access to technology that makes the system move a little more fluidly. And I don't think that will take anywhere near the next 12 months. Lastly, we know the hospital systems themselves are making significant change. UT has a plan that virtually doubles its ability to handle people in its emergency department that will be finished in '26.
That's great. Seeing no more questions, I would like to commend AMR. This report was really, really good, and I was happy to see it. And I do think the nurse in the field has helped a lot, and that was something that was really important. And we got that up and going, and you're right, the hands-on personal approach, there's just nothing like that. And I do want to kind of give you guys a shout out, and you'll probably be getting a letter, but a friend of mine had nothing but high praises for you guys 2 weeks ago when you had to show up at their house. And so, so I appreciate that. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I appreciate it. And with that, thank you for coming.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
Public forum for agenda items only. Did you
Don't-
have any?
No, we don't have anybody signed up.
Okay. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Lee. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Drives and roads, consideration of the acceptance of new county roads. Item A is Lantern Park Lane, located in Lantern Park, District 6.
Motion approved.
Okay, Jay. We've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lee, a second by Commissioner Jay. Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had asked Madam Chair to break
And I
these out.
apologize for that.
Oh, no, you did. Y'all read?
I haven't read the other one yet.
Yeah.
Yep, you read A. Simply because this is something that I have been working with the community on for a very long time. And there are currently 7 pending lawsuits that pertain to this road. There has been an agreement that has been made and that will be settled, but the ink isn't dry. And so I have consistently said that if there was pending litigation associated with an agenda item, I tended to feel like we should not hear it. And so I asked to pull them separately so that I will be passing on this vote.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fox?
Madam Chair, I would like to hear from Engineering and Public Works on this because I received an email from a Knox County resident addressing this particular item, discussing that there had been a court case where the decision had been in favor of people opposing the acceptance of this particular road. I hope I'm putting that correct, but I'd like to hear from Director Snowden.
Director Snowden?
Yes, sir. And you're exactly right, Commissioner Fox. There was a court case that did invalidate one particular approval, but there was a previous approval that still had vesting, and the developer and his attorneys here too can speak on this, still had vested rights. So he went back to that and has subsequently moved forward with a concept plan, design plan, and construction that matched that. So from our perspective, from an engineering perspective, they checked all the boxes that we feel like were adequate for the acceptance of the roadway. Thank you.
Okay. All right, since we've pulled the Lantern Park Lane, we will vote on that one separate. Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve, I mean, I think I
We
already
do
did
have a
that.
second. I'm sorry, I apologize, guys. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Pass.
Okay, you've got Commissioner Russell and Commissioner Frazier's passed. Okay, next item.
The next item is B. It's Brooks Meadow Lane located in Brooks Meadow, District 8.
Motion to approve.
I've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Line item transfers, total amount of $89,517.38.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Notary public applications, 219.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett. Second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Item number 35 is Resolution 405. It's approving a civil design contract with Robert G. Campbell and
Madam
Associates.
Chair, apologies, number 19 was the first one that got pulled off after we amended the amended
okay.
amendment.
Thank you, Commissioner Jay. It makes it tough when you're doing it at the last minute. All right, number 19.
It's Resolution 501. It's approving a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, award in the amount of $2 million to fund aging-in-place home modifications for low-income Knox County senior residents. No local match required.
Okay, do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, a second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Commissioner Fox?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I, first of all, of course, oppose this grant, and I've stated before, I won't go into detail, but I oppose any grants from the federal government because the money's literally being borrowed to give to us. It's not coming from federal revenue. Federal revenue is being dedicated to Social Security, major health care, federal retirement, interest on the $36 trillion debt, and the defense budget. Every dollar after that is borrowed, and this is borrowed money. But in addition to that, when I was reviewing this particular program, I noticed the terms and conditions related to this program. One of them, number 9, it's page 13. They have the Build America, Buy America Act, says grantees must comply with the Build America, Buy America Act procurement requirements. So I looked that up, and the web page is missing. There is no web page by which Knox County can comply with this particular aspect of this grant. So I don't think we should be undertaking something that we don't know what the requirements are. I think that's related to some of the federal government efforts with respect to HUD grants, but it's not there. So there's another basis upon which I oppose this, and I just encourage my fellow commissioners to deny this particular grant. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Director Holden here? Thank you. Director Holden,
Jenny Holden, 400 West Main.
thank you. On this, do you know anything about the Build America, Buy America website?
Yes, that is actually, Commissioner Fox, you are correct. A lot of the websites that have been there with federal programs have gone down in the last month. That may be one of them. We have staff that are extremely familiar with Build America, Buy America right now. It's a fairly robust system. So even without that website, we have all of the requirements of that
Okay.
program.
And there's no local match, so there's no Knox County match to this, correct?
No local match.
And then tell me what this is gonna do for the senior citizens that we're trying to keep in their homes instead of moving them out.
We love this program. This is actually a competitive grant program through HUD. We had applied for it last year and did not get it. We applied again this year and were awarded $2 million. This program focuses on home repairs and accessibility modifications for older adults to let them age in place in their own homes as opposed to having to go into assisted living or a nursing home.
Okay. And do you have a list of the people that you know will be waiting, or is there a way for somebody to apply for that?
So currently, we have our home rehab wait list. I think I shared some of that with you all back in September. Right now, 46% of the folks that are on that wait list are elderly, so they would all be, we'll be able to use those two programs together, do accessibility modifications with one program, and then use our other program to do things that might be outside of the scope of this
Is that
grant.
gonna also be working hand in hand with CAC, where they do some of the modifications on houses for?
So we actually have taken that program in-house, but it is going to, yes, it's that same
Kind
program.
of correlate
Home-
with that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Commissioner Durrett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the seniors that would be aging in place rather than having to be moved, what kinds of things would you be looking for? And I ask because I received a contact from a constituent last month even about her HVAC system. It does not work. She has been without air. She could live with that, but now with the extreme temperatures that we've had recently, especially, I've been thinking about her. I've been working with her. She is on the wait list for the CAC program that Chair Oster was talking about. Would it include something like that? I mean, or like, can you give a little of the specifics on
Yes.
this? Thank you.
This program is going to allow us to do ramps, grab bars, convert someone if they just have a bathtub to a shower, HVACs to allow them to have heat and air conditioning in the summer. It's a pretty broad ranging program, and because we can use it in conjunction with our other funds, it really lets us take care of pretty much any need in the household.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to speak to Commissioner Fox's statement about the website being down. It's alive, and you can also actually go to the website and click on a link directly to see the act and in its full form. So it is active.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A simple internet search allowed me to get to the Office of Acquisition Management, where it has a very detailed informational list. This is an actual official website of the United States government. It has more information you can ever imagine about Build America and Buy America. I think it's a good program. Happy to support it. I'll be voting yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you say 46% of this money goes to seniors? Where does the other money go?
No, 46% of our wait list currently are senior citizens.
Okay, but it's all for seniors?
This is all for seniors.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fox?
I just wanted to note for the record that I simply clicked on the link that was associated with this particular item as it was on the Knox County Commission agenda website, and that's why I made the statement I made. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Any more questions for Director Holden? I'm sorry. No, thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We have one no. Commissioner Fox? Thank you. The item passes. Next item, please.
Okay, we're back to Resolution 405. It's approving a civil design contract with Robert G. Campbell and Associates in the amount of $48,000 for the design of a left turn lane on Westland Drive onto Ridge Climber Road.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Frazier. Discussion, Commissioner Russell?
Yes, similar to at what Kim, or Commissioner Frazier, sorry, stated in regards to the road, there are going to be some litigation related to this particular development. And because of that, I will be abstaining from voting on this. My concern is that Westland Drive definitely needs some infrastructure. And my biggest concern is if we link these together, the road improvement to the development, what's going to happen is when the litigation goes in, and if a judge puts in an injunction to stop everything until the case is decided, that could put Knox County in a position where we can't move forward and do road improvements should they be needed. And because of that, because that would not be up to the developer or up to Knox County to make that decision at that point. Once a judge makes the call, it's made, and he can say, stop everything in its tracks. So I'd just like to postpone it, or in the case of not postponing it, then I will be voting against it.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director Snowden, I have a question, please, on items, really 35 and 36 are linked together, correct?
That is correct, sir.
My understanding of this is as part of the planning process, it is part of the regular legislative body's system that it follows, that these two are related to completing items that were demanded, were conditioned by Planning Commission. Said
That is correct.
You must do these turn lanes.
Correct. The planning staff report says these conditions shall be completed before this development is finally approved, yes, sir.
And we passed an ordinance just a few years ago that said anytime that there is an infrastructure or a engineering and public works item that shall be done by a developer, it actually shall be done by Knox County through contract, so that we manage it, we budget it, we process it, we make sure it's done to the specs, and it's done on behalf of the people.
That is correct.
Because everybody uses this when it's done.
Correct.
Okay, so I checked, I knew that this would be a concern, and I checked, there is no pending litigation, unless somebody knows otherwise of a very specific case. There's no pending litigation, one more question, that has anything to do with this. So you as an engineer have a certain set of steps that happens. Have these met all of those steps for you to then begin managing this project? Is there any roadblock to you continuing that work?
No, sir. From a perspective of engineering and public works, we are content with this agreement moving forward. From that perspective, we don't see a particular reason to defer it. But if this body chooses to, then certainly that's their purview. But we don't have a preference one way or the other.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Snowden. Given that the director has outlined that this is the next step in a process that is very common to us, I don't see any reason to delay it and let them move on. If for some reason there is, I can't remember a case, Mr. Moyer, tell me if I'm wrong, where a judge has put a stop work order on adding some turn lanes to an existing roadway, but I guess if that were to happen, then we could stop, but I haven't ever heard of, I don't remember one, do you?
I do not, no.
Okay. I don't see any reason not to propose, or not to send it forward tonight, and I'll be supporting it.
Thank you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director Snowden, or I don't know if we have any more. Can you recall what development project that these improvements were linked to? For instance, we make conditions for improvements with zonings. Do you recall?
I don't believe these conditions or this turn lane was conditioned at zoning. It is my recollection that they were done as part of the concept plan. I don't believe they were done at zoning, but they may have been. I just don't recall that.
Do you recall what development? A subdivision, the name of the subdivision, or?
This
The applica-
particular subdivision,
Yes.
Westland Oaks, Westland
Westland
Oaks is
Oaks.
the name of this subdivision, yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
it came in various phases, but Westland Oaks is the subdivision that was, I guess, done in phases, and this would be the last phase of that particular development.
Okay. And Commissioner Russell, are you aware of any active litigation currently?
I have just been in contact with members that are representing Westland Oaks, and they have told me that they are in the process of filing the litigation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, Commissioner Hill?
Thank you. Director Snowden, is there anything about this project that would not be of extreme benefit to the citizens of Knox County?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part. I'm
Is
sorry.
there anything in this project that would not be of extreme benefit to our traffic conditions and the citizens of Knox County?
No, ma'am. If we have to, if, for this third phase of this development to proceed, we would 100% need this turn lane in there to protect the public. I will make mention, we had another item on the agenda too, that, and some of you all received there's a subdivision just west of there that we're trying to get some sidewalk connections installed too. So a companion item to this that was on consent, just to briefly highlight it, was we're going to look to see, because, if you drive that section of Westland, it goes in and out of 3 lanes, so we would like to tie all that together. So we are going to get the same consultant to look at the right-of-way through there. And if and when this developer completes that turn lane, we would also like to try to use some county resources to make that connection all the way to Pellissippi, to where that weaving would be taken out. So we'd like to expand the project a little bit.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Russell?
Yes, I just want to explain that I am not questioning whether this project is needed. It's needed whether, quite honestly, the development goes in or not. Westland desperately needs some improvement. And that is where my concern comes from, not from the fact that it does not need improvement, but from the fact that it definitely does need improvement. And my concern is if one subdivision goes into court and asks for an injunction and this is tied together with that development, and that gets postponed, it could stop this from happening at all for 2 or 3 years or 4 years, however long that the litigation takes place. And I just didn't want Knox County to be tied up where our hands are tied because we joined hands, so to speak, with the developer, and are therefore kind of, it's all tied together. The developer does not have his funding. I spoke with him Wednesday of last week. He does not have his funding, so we're not in no way postponing or slowing down his process. He does not have his funding together yet. He does not have his approval together yet from HUD. And obviously, he would like to go ahead and proceed on so he can put a check mark next to that particular item. But it's not going to slow him down if we postpone this so that we see that maybe we're helping the citizens out. Because like I said, I feel like that they definitely do need the road improvements, and that's why I am being so cautious about it, because I don't want the road improvements to be stopped unless, if they're tied together.
Thank you. Commissioner Hill?
Thank you. With all due respect, Commissioner Russell, if we did not approve these type of improvements because there might be a possibility of pending litigation, which at this time does not even exist, this commission would probably not move forward on anything because there is always a possibility with everything of pending litigation.
Commissioner Thompson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Russell, when you're asking for a postponement, how far out are you talking about postponing it?
A month or two. Like I said, I spoke with the residents of Westland Oaks and have been told that they have already obtained an attorney. The attorney is in the process of writing up the litigation. I'm just trying to keep it from being all coupled together and possibly so that it's no longer inside Knox County's control. That if we, 2 years from now, while the litigation is still, raging on in appeals or whatever, we decide to put in a turn lane, there hasn't been some kind of injunction or, saying nothing shall move forward until this case is decided.
All right, thank you, because, yes, I too had received a phone call from, I guess, their attorney and explained something to, and this wasn't even on my radar until I received the phone call. And so, just thinking, I kind of understand what you're talking about, and no, there's no litigation yet, but, it's not like we're voting no tonight. It'd be a postponement to just give it some time, let it breathe. Particularly if we're not holding anything up by just postponing them 30 days to see what happens. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Moyers, I want to go back to my previous question. Have you ever heard of a judge stopping a Knox County from building a turn lane in the right-of-way that accesses a major artery during any kind of pending litigation over a development that might connect to that turn lane?
No, I have not heard of such a thing. And I've never experienced this in Knox County. I've heard of judges for environmental reasons stopping road construction if there's some issue with the environment. But Mr. Snowden, this is a development that the county would be contracting for and seeing that happens, correct?
That is correct.
The-
We'll design it, procure any right-of-way and construct it and be reimbursed fully by the developer.
Right, the only role the developer has is to pay for it ultimately, correct?
Correct, and the way the MOU is worded, which is not this item, but the next item, says that he can do site grading and site preparation, but he cannot occupy any buildings until these improvements are completed.
Under those circumstances, it's really difficult to see, even if there's litigation, how Knox County would be put on the line. As Mr. Snowden has said, we need these turn lanes regardless of whether or not this particular subdivision goes in. So while litigation might interfere with the funding process to some extent, I do not see any circumstances where a judge would tell us you cannot build that turn lane.
Thank you, Mr. Moyers.
Thank you. Commissioner Durrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Russell, if we were to postpone this for a month or two, and let's say this potential litigation is filed, when it comes back to us, then what would be what would your consideration be for these two items?
Okay, so basically, if it did come back to, if the litigation gets filed, what they're going to ask for is that everything be postponed until it's settled in court, whether he can proceed or not. By postponing this, we're not postponing him anything. And by not doing it, it allows Knox County to be able to make those road improvements if we so chose. If he gets postponed, from my understanding, and we can ask, and that's why I had my mic on to ask Mr. Snowden, or Director Snowden, but my understanding is at this point, we're not planning on making those improvements unless the next item on the agenda, the understanding with the developer occurs. So if we're not going to make the adjustment or the improvements at this time in 2025, unless the developer is involved, and we know that he may not be involved at some point in time, why would we want to link hands? Because maybe in 2026, we might want to make those improvements, or those improvements may need to be made. And then we've got an agreement with him that he's supposed to pay for it. Well, he's not going to pay for it because he's in litigation. And so it's all tied together. I'm just trying to keep things from being all tied together so that we can make decisions as they come up and as they're ready to be made.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Russell. I see this as postponing to a postponement indefinitely for unknowns, for things that we don't even know will happen, could happen. We're guessing right now. So I don't think holding up the county, holding up important road improvements for things that could potentially happen, even if it's 30 days, 60 days, or 2 years if it's spent in litigation. I don't think that that is a good move on our part, so I will be supporting this one and the next one.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay?
I just had one quick follow-up question for Mr. Snowden. Sorry, it percolated after I turned my light off. I've heard from several people tonight, including Ms. Russell, that there's a current need for turn lanes in this area for the current residents of Westland Oaks, correct?
There is a street there now, and certainly the need is there, but prior to this development, creating an additional traffic, it doesn't meet the warrant that we would establish. There are certain warrants that that good standard practice says this many left turns with this many opposing traffic and this much following traffic. So, but any additional lots created trips the warrant, but yes, much like any busy road, a turn lane does provide value and safety to any roadway.
Okay, so that need exists, and it's going to continue to exist as long as that corridor has more and more people on it, or more traffic. Okay. Without the developer paying for this, would Knox County have any resources to do this on our own currently as part of our capital plan or capital budget or any other thing that would it be high on the list?
We don't have anything planned at the moment. We do, and I think I've talked to a couple of you about an extension of sidewalk down there. And obviously, we would like to try to make some smaller improvements, but the turn lane into, I think it's Ridge Climb or Way or Road, is not on our radar and would not be on our radar, but it before this development, entering this MOU.
Okay, and this, help me understand the triggering timeline. This, if approved, if 35 and 36 were approved tonight, this, the developer, the person that's in the agreement, West Knox Developers, would write the check, and you would go forth and make this happen in what time frame?
I would think we could probably get started on construction sometime next year, complete construction next year, and then they could start occupying homes. But the way the agreement is codified, because really at this point, the warrant isn't met, but any additional left turns, it will be met. We want to hold any additional certificate of occupancies for their development. So essentially, they won't be able to build or occupy any structures until the turn lane that this agreement codifies is complete and done, which should be sometime next year.
Okay, so you have a need now, you have somebody else paying for it, you have the facility to do it, and it can be done within about a year. Is that a good summary?
Close enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to piggyback on Commissioner Jay's question, the existing development, which is Phase 1 and Phase 2, it did not determine that a turn lane was required.
Correct. The Phase 1 and Phase 2, essentially the warrant was here and it got right up to the threshold, and now this last phase will then trip that threshold and create the need for the turn lane.
Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no more discussion, we do have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Frazier, to approve. So all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No.
Commissioner Frazier passed. You passed? But didn't you second it?
I did, but you can pass.
Okay. And then Commissioner Russell. Okay. Russell and Frazier. Yes. Did you pass or no?
I'm passing.
Pass. There are two passes.
Madam Chair, could I pass as well?
Yes. Okay. Next item, please.
Item number 36 is Resolution 409. It's approving a memorandum of understanding with West Knox Developers LLC for road improvements to Westland Drive.
All right, do I have a motion on the floor? I have a motion made by Commissioner Jackson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rawls. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Pass.
That'll be the same three, Russell, Frazier, and Thompson. Yes, next item, please.
Item number 39, Resolution 901. It's approving a commercial purchase and sale agreement in the amount of $4,350,000 with Fort Loudon Waste and Recycling Incorporated, Jason W. Bells, and Edgestock LLC for 2742 Hancock Street and 302 North Avenue for a county-wide maintenance facility.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Frazier. I did get that Commissioner Jay would like to sign on to this. Is that correct? Would anybody else like to sign on to this resolution?
Yes, Madam Chair.
No, it's not full commission. Yes, so would that like to be full commission? Yes? All right. So the motion is for the full commission to accept by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Commissioner Durrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues for signing on to this. This property is in District 2, and I'm not sure if you're aware of the history of this property, but in 2019 or 2020, it caught fire. It was a pretty large fire that did encroach in the bordering neighborhood of Oakwood Lincoln Park. And since then, there have been subsequent fires due to that original fire and due to the nature of the facility being a waste and recycling plant. And so I appreciate the mayor and my colleagues for signing on to this and bringing this forward. And I'm excited for bringing life back to this because the owners were also delinquent in their property taxes. So we are also bringing this back. Well, not this particular property, but the move can put other more desirable properties back on our tax rolls. And so I see this as a win-win all the way around. And I just thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we've got a motion on the floor. And all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 42, Resolution 906, is amending the Knox County Commission rules, Rule 1, Section M, elections or appointments to open the appointment application process for board and committee appointments.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, a second by Commissioner Jay. Any discussion? Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just quickly, this is just to open the application process so that it will be open applications for all appointments to boards and committees that are county affiliated.
Thank you. Seeing no more discussion, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Item number 43, Resolution 907, is amending the Knox County Commission rules, Rule 6, Section C, road and right-of-way closure to amend the procedure for road and right-of-way closures.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just quickly, and Director Snowden is standing by, but I always love when something occurs during one of our meetings that we think, you know what, we could do that a little bit better. And then we address it through policies or procedures. And that's exactly what Director Snowden, Commissioner Hill, from an experience that she had, that's exactly what we did. And they brought it to our Rules Committee, and we were very grateful. And going to let Jim just tell you, or excuse me, Director Snowden, tell you a little bit about it.
No, thank you very much, Commissioner Frazier. Yeah, that's exactly right. We had, as we talked a few months ago about the closure of Low Betty Road, there was a constituent that brought up an issue that I don't think any of us realized. I've been to county 25 years, and we've been doing road closures for 25 years the same way, and it's probably time to take another look and see what we could do to improve that. So really, we have a couple of changes here. One is which the road closure process historically has always been 2 readings of this body. The city only does 1. Talking to Mr. Moyers, we don't know where 2 ever came from. So we've always done it that way. So we are going to change that for from 2 readings to 1. And then the others are really just process requirements as far as engineering public works or a commissioner being an applicant. And then obviously one of the things that we had as part of Low Betty, the constituent brought up that when we as the engineering department request a closure, we didn't do a canvas form. Well, we didn't think we had to because as the engineering department, we're looking at things through the lens of public safety and things like that that may not always be publicly well received, but it's certainly in the best interest of the public. So these 3 items, to Commissioner Frazier's point, really hopefully will facilitate a little better and cleaner rule process as we go through this process, and we appreciate your support on this item.
Thank you. We've got a motion on the floor to approve by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Durrett. There's no more discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Item 44 is Resolution 908. It's amending the Knox County Commission Rules, Rule 6, Section E, Honorary Resolutions, Proclamations, and Discussion Items to add the definitions of ordinance and resolution.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Jay. Any discussion? Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Another item that came out of the Rules Committee, we just realized that we do not define resolution or ordinances in our commission rules. And so with the help of the law department, we have done so.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Jay to approve. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Item 45 is Resolution 909. It's amending the Knox County Commission Rules, Rule 2, Section D, Responsibilities of the Chair, and Section E, Responsibilities of the Vice Chair, to revise language regarding the Development Corporation Board.
Motion to approve?
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, one last item that came out of the Rules Committee, we are simply revising the language to replace the Development Corporation with Joint Economic and Community Development Board because the name has changed. And so we are updating and cleaning up the language. And secondly, we are deleting entirely that the vice chair serves as a board member of the Development Corporation because I do not. So we have cleaned up that language.
Thank you. Seeing no other discussion, we have motion on the floor by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Hill to approve. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Item 46, Resolution 911, is approving a contract with Othram Incorporated for the provision of forensic, genetic, genealogy testing services. This contract is funded through a grant and will not require extra funding from the county.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next item. No, we don't have any public forum. All right. Other business, I've got a reminder that we are scheduled for a breakfast with the zoo on March 13th at 8 a.m. I've only heard from a few of you, so please let me know if you're going to be able to make it. When we set these up, I always like to let the people know how many commissioners to expect, and if I don't hear from anybody, it's hard to do that. Commissioner Durrett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to remind our commission to look for a community event or something going on to take your junior commissioner to. If you have not done so, we are approaching our last month with this junior commission class. It has flown by, so please ensure that you're providing them an opportunity to go to some kind of event, community event, neighborhood meeting, ribbon cutting. We, I'm not gonna say don't want you to do it during school hours, but we prefer they be after school hours or on the weekends. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Russell.
Yes, just on a personal item, I wanted to wish my husband a happy birthday.
Thank
He
you.
has been driving me around for quite a while now while I'm healing up from my vision issues, so wanted to wish him happy birthday and thank him.
Well,
I'll
thank you.
second
Happy
that.
birthday. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. I just wanted to welcome several of my LK classmates here that are observing tonight. Best class ever.
Thank you. Seeing no other business before this commission, we are adjourned, and we will start zoning in about 10 minutes.